What is up guys, and welcome to my Booktube channel. My name is Molly and today I am coming with an announcement. I just got a inspiration today and yesterday, of making a readathon for December, and it was inspired by the BTS readathon that I'm taking part in, and this is a readathon to do with K-pop, so I apologise if you do not like K-pop. But the prompts are still general to books, but they're just based on K-pop groups. So I've come up with the Kpopreadathon, and this is just my layout for it, and this is it. And I decided I wanted to do a month-long readathon in December that's kind of like 12 Days of Christmas. So for each prompt you will have that amount of days. So for example, BTS is the first prompt, so you'd have 1 day to finish that prompt. That's combined challenges purely because you've got 30 days, and yeah, you're allowed manga and everything like that, so it is possible. I apologise if you can't read that many books in a month. If so, if like you're in desperate need, then do combine challenges, but you're only allowed the lowest amount of days. So for example, if you combine the 12-day challenge with the 1-day challenge, you have to read that book in 1 day. You can't read it in 12 days, if you get what I mean. Alright, so I have come up with prompts to do with either songs from the K-pop groups, like their look in general, to do with their names, so they're inspired by different things, or like things that they remind me of. So I've just put 12 groups I enjoy or like I know are really popular, and yeah, so this will be from the 1st of December all the way up to the 31st, so which is my birthday, so I'm finishing this readathon on my birthday, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to create a Twitter and everything for it, but I will leave everything below once I've created it. And yeah, so for BTS, it's this blue one here. I'm going to do it so we do this way around, so we'll finish on Got 7. I have things dropping out of my book. Alright, so for example, BTS is Love Yourself, so that's to do with like, they're always about promoting loving yourself, and they've also got an album based off of it, and it's a 5-star prediction or a mental health book. So this is something that you think you'll rate 5 stars, or if you've done a video, something from that list, or a book that's to do with mental health, or maybe it's like mental health that you have to deal with yourself, and it's and you can relate to that book. So that's the first prompt. So you'll have 1 day to complete that book. The second prompt is Red Velvet. Red Velvet. Read a book that has red on the cover or contains cooking. Now this is based off their name. They have red in their name, and they have Red Velvet, which is a cake, so that reminds me of cooking. So you'll have 2 days to complete this prompt, and then it can be a book that is fully red, like Fire and Heist, or it can be a book that contains a tiny bit of red, as long as you can see the red on the cover, or it could be under the dust jacket. And the book that contains cooking, it has to be a main part of the book. It can't just be like, oh, they're in the kitchen and they're cooking something. It has to be a main part of the book. For example, something to do with fire. I will leave the name on the screen. That's a book about a young mum, I'm pretty sure, who's a chef, but I'll leave the name on the screen. Once again, you'll have 2 days to complete this prompt. The next prompt is Blackpink. DDU-DU. This is read a book that contains a strong female. Now in the song this is inspired by, they're talking about how they're strong females and like not to mess with them. That's for my interpretation from the song. You may have a different interpretation. So you have 3 days to complete this challenge, and it could be a strong female as in like she's went through a lot and she's still getting through it and she's still fighting, or it could be a strong female as in like she's a fighter, like an assassin, a witch, a wizard, and so forth. So it doesn't have to be stereotypical strong. It can be strong is with never backing down from her emotions and always fighting through her problems, or it could be strong in sense of strength physically. The next one is Stray Kids. So that's the 4th prompt. It's always has a smile. Read a book that makes you laugh or smile. So you have 5 days to complete this challenge. No, you have 4 days to complete this challenge, and it could be a reread of one of your favourites that you know makes you smile and laugh, or it could be a book that you've heard always keeps you smiling and always makes you laugh. For example, for me, if I was to do a reread, I would read The Gentleman's Guide because I'm always laughing through that. I'm not sure what book I would choose for, just a book that I know people have laughed and smiled about. But always use Goodreads, that helps you with people's reviews and everything like that, so you know what books contain things that make you laugh. Now, the 5th prompt is 17. So many members. Read a book over 517 pages. So there I've used how many members they have. They have 13 members, even though their name is 17. They have 13 members and 3 units, and then they're one group altogether, so they're 17. And I wanted to do over 500 pages, and then I also wanted to include the number that's in their name, so 517 pages. And you'll have 5 days to complete that. The next one is NCT, so many groups. So NCT is like a whole group together, and then they have 3 subdivisions that make their own music. So it's a read a book in a series. It can be a series that's finished, a series that you're currently reading, a series that you know is going to happen. It could also be a companion novel. So for example, I'm going to reference The Gentleman's Guide again. The Gentleman's Guide has The Lady's Guide, which is a companion novel, but it's not a sequel. So you'll have 6 days to complete that. The next prompt is Astro. Reminds me of space. Read a book set in space. Now this is, again, because of their name, Astro reminds me of planets and everything. So you are to read a book that's probably sci-fi, or you could read a fantasy book set in space, because I know there are books that are set in space that are fantasy. You could even read a contemporary. I'm sure there is some out there. But anything that is remotely set in space. It doesn't have to always be set in space. So many spaces. It doesn't have to mainly be set in space, as long as they are there for a period of time. And you'll have 7 days to complete that challenge. The next prompt is Icon. Now this one can be controversial to people, because this is about one of the members who sadly had to leave because of a scandal that happened. So it's a sad farewell. Read a book that you think will make you cry. So this is a book that you've either read before and you know it's made you cry, or a book that you've heard is very heartfelt and sad, or it's just so cute that it makes you cry. Because I know, for example, Heartstopper is a book that's made so many people cry because of how cute it is. And yeah, so that's the 8th prompt, so you'll have 8 days. One thing I will say, if you think a prompt is going to be easier for you, I will allow you one swap. So you can swap one prompt with another day. So for example, if you think the first day you'll have a book that's longer than the book on the 8th day and harder to read in one day, you can swap them, but you only have one swap. The next prompt is Twice. Cute and romantic. Read a book that's a contemporary or contains romance. So this can be solely based on romance. It can contain a little bit of romance. It could just be a contemporary, something like that. Because Twice are known to have very cutesy songs, and most of them are to do with romance. So you'll have 9 days to complete that. The next one is Monster X. Wow, them looks and voices. So this is about their physical traits and their voices. Read a book that has a gorgeous cover or writing. So for example, it could have a cover that you really love, or the author is known for very lyrical writing. For example, Laini Taylor. Many people say that Strange the Dreamer and Daughter of Smoke and Bone have very lyrical writing, and she writes in a very lyrical way, and many people find that beautiful. If you don't find that beautiful, then a writing style that you find beautiful is fine. So that's the 10th prompt, so you have 10 days to complete that. Alright, EXO. Monster. Read a book that contains a monster or villain. So this is to do with their song. This has to be a villain that you know of. So for example, I know Mackenzie Lee has Loki coming out, and he's seen as a villainous character, so something like that will work. Or it could be someone who's seen as a monster, like Beauty and the Beast, but is truly not. So as long as they're perceived as a monster or a villain, it counts. And you have 11 days to complete that challenge. The last challenge is Got 7, Fly. Read a book that's not set in the real world. So this is something, it could be fantasy or sci-fi or anything in between. Normally not contemporary because they're normally set in the real world. But I will make an exception. If you don't read fantasy or sci-fi, you can read a contemporary that's not set in your country. So for example, I am from the UK. As long as I read a contemporary that's set in like America, Afghanistan, Mexico, Canada, Trinidad, something like that. It can't be set in the UK. It has to be outside of your country. Or it could be somewhere you want to travel to. So again, it's not outside of the country, but you want to travel there. So I hope you enjoy this readathon. It's December 1st to the 31st. I will leave all the details down below, and I will update with more details later. Obviously, because there's not enough days in the month, you're going to have to read multiple books on a day. If not, and you truly can't do that, you can dupe up the prompts. So you can put something that you can rate 5 stars and it contains a monster. You can put them together. But if you want to stick to the readathon, you'll read them in the 12 days that they're set. So it's kind of like 12 days of Christmas, so 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and so forth. Obviously, it's not one book per day, but if you find it easier to read a book in a day and then start a new book straight away, then that's it. You don't have to take that amount of time to read that book, as long as you read within the time. So for example, you don't have to be accurate. So if you start a book at 12, so you don't have to finish it at 12 in 12 days. As long as you're finishing it on the 12th day, you're fine. But I hope you enjoy. Let me know down below if you have any problems or you don't understand something, and I will be there to help you and explain. I will set up the Twitter, and when I do, I'll leave it all down below so you can follow it and get updates. I'm also thinking of doing a group book, so let me know down below any ideas. I'm sorry if you can hear a dog. Let me know if you have any ideas for a group book, preferably one that's coming out newly, purely because some people prefer that. If not, a book that you know not many people have read. But let me know down below. I will update when I have all them details, and I hope you enjoy this readathon, and I hope you join. Like and subscribe if you would like, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!